It's like, what did D4VD not do at this point? We just got a new update where we got some new photos that show that Celeste was at the shows with David, and it's clearly obvious that people knew what was going on, but they chose to not say nothing. The world is a sick, sick place, y'all. Let's get into this. Rest in peace to Celeste Hernandez, man.
Celeste was a young teenager who ended up living in Los Angeles, allegedly in a relationship with music artist D4VD, legally known as David Anthony Burke. She was a minor, he was an adult, and from everything that's been coming out, this was a classic grooming situation.
Yep.
He controlled where she stayed, what she wore, who she talked to, and even how her relationship with her family played out. She later turned up deceased, hidden inside of a bag inside of the front of a Tesla. The car was never reported stolen, never reported missing, and somehow we're being told that there's no clear criminal culpability connected to her being in that trunk. So many people have been trying to distance themselves from any involvement in this relationship. A lot of people are assuming that Josh, his manager, really did know about this relationship and confronted David about
his manager looks like a weirdo too, bro.
How inappropriate it was.
It was an email letter. It was sent to Josh and a family member of Josh and some other people, and basically said, we know that she's with him. I don't think they knew the address of the time, but they knew she's with him, and that they included the missing persons flyer. She's a missing person. She's 12 or 13 at that time, and the next morning, I think it was the next day or the day after, she showed up.
So Josh spoke out and was like, "Look, I've never ever received an email. I know nothing about this situation. I have 3 children of my own. The home is in my name. I was renting it on his behalf, but I did not stay there. Keep my name out of it. My name is Bennett. I ain't in it." According to investigator Steve Fisher, he says, "Early in the case, I released information about an email that had been sent to David's manager, Josh Marshall, and another person notifying them that Celeste Rivas Hernandez was a missing person. Josh publicly denied this in Twitter comments, claiming it wasn't true. However, an alleged copy of that email was leaked tonight on Reddit. The screenshot circulating online is said to be the one that Josh Marshall himself took and sent to D4VD, who then forwarded it to one of Celeste's friends. And there will be more that proves this was a known relationship between an adult and a child."
That's so nasty, bro. It's like all these people just knew, bro. It really puts it into perspective too. Like, this situation to me just feels so weird because it's almost like if that's y'all knew about this 13, 12-year-old child and that she was in this very sick position with this guy and y'all let it rock, then like what would you do to somebody else for some money? Like it just sucks so much because it just shows how willing people are to turn a blind eye whenever it's in their favor, man. This could be one of our sisters, our cousins, our aunts,
The email from February 19th, 2024 reads just this: "There's been talk that the artist D4VD possibly has something to do with the disappearance of 13-year-old Celeste Rivas. If that statement holds any merit, please do the right thing and take her home. Her parents are very worried." Again, this email is from February 19th, 2024.
When somebody was already
and
on
she
them.
first went missing Valentine's Day 2024. So this makes sense. And according to investigator Steve Fisher, she reportedly went back home the next day. So that leads you to believe that someone in the inner circle definitely knew about Celeste being missing and wanted to stay out of trouble. They sent her back. So when Josh publicly said, "No one ever sent me an email, I had no idea, I don't live in California," people are like, technically, maybe it wasn't the personal inbox, but if you're managing the artist and you're reading his business emails, you knew enough to hit that screenshot button and send it to David, who in turn allegedly sent it to one of Celeste's friends, and she returned home. Then is this photo of David at his 3-night residency at the Fonda Theater in Los Angeles on June 24th, 2024. And guess who is here? You guessed it, none other than Celeste. If that doesn't look like her, what about this? And let's not forget about her being backstage with his brother just a few days later. This is a missing girl that would leave home, go back to David's, leave home again, go back to David's, and this continue. And it seems like the family.
That's a child too, bro. Like that is a kid, bro. You're a grown man, bro. That is a kid, bro. Like, what do you even get from this?
Leave
bro?
home again, go back to David's, and this continue. And it seems like the family knew about it. And this is for those of you that just need a little clearer picture of this actually being Celeste behind stage.
Yep.
But not only that,
looks
Celeste
like her.
posted to her TikTok while at the Fonda Theater. The other Celeste was there as well. We have Miss Lane C. We have so many people doing things behind the scenes that were obviously there right along with Celeste. We have Robert M. Celeste was even with David's family in the crowd. This is so wild.
Christ.
So April 5th, 2024, Celeste was reported missing again. And guess where she went? None other than David's house. 15 days later, there was a visit made to a Build-A-Bear workshop, and a certificate dated April 21st in the name of Esmeralda was found in the home where David, D4VD, had been staying.
So it appears that she ran away, or maybe not even ran away, but just like she left home to stay with David, and they just went on. Just I do whatever they did. I wonder if the parents knew or not, though. Genuinely,
This likely puts Celeste inside David's home, doesn't it?
Well, it puts it inside the home, and it also, there was people aware of where Celeste was, and they're obviously in contact. They planned this out, and I don't believe this is just a coincidence. I believe that this is that Esmeralda, and David was there. We know
weird.
at Six Flags that day. Celeste was a missing person, and then shortly after, she shows up at graduation.
Missing Celeste Rivas Hernandez was later seen at her cousin Esmeralda's graduation later that year. Now, according to Steve Fisher, he says when a missing person report is filed, it is a serious matter. The person is entered into NCIC, which is maintained by the FBI. In California, they are also added to the California Department of Justice Missing Person Database, and minors are entered into the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children system. Behind the scenes, detectives, case advocates, investigators, and others are actively working to locate the missing individual.
Right.
If a missing person is found by their family, the family.
So he's saying, basically what it sounds like he's saying is that they filed a missing report. She came back shortly after, and they never unfiled it or said that they found her. So that's on the family, which is weird on the family's part. That makes sense. The first time Celeste was reported missing was February 14, 2024. The exact same day Josh Marshall took possession of the rental house. The last time she reported missing was April 5th, 2024. But was she truly missing? On May 30th, Celeste attended her cousin Esmeralda. Oh, in September, she was seen on video fighting with neighbors at the lake. So basically, yeah, okay. So she was back home, but they never said she wasn't missing again. So this whole narrative that she was missing for a whole year is low-key a little like gray area, because she obviously wasn't missing, but they just never filed the correct paperwork, so she legally wouldn't be considered missing anymore. That's so weird.
House. The last time
they know how to file that she's not missing anymore because they filed it that she was missing.
She was reported missing was April 5th, 2024. But was she truly missing? On May 30th, 2024,
it just keeps getting weirder, bro. This David situation just keeps getting weirder, because it's like now it just feels more and more. I'm not gonna say that her family was involved. That's not what I'm saying. But it just seems weirder and weirder, because it's seeming like there's so many different factors that if people would have just been a little bit more diligent about, people would have just been a little bit more like, hey, that's not right. She genuinely might still be here today. So it just keeps getting weirder, bro.
2023, David was on tour with SZA. He ended up telling her, "You did a wonderful job. I learned so much from you." He brought his family out. Well, not too long after Celeste passed, her aunt posted a picture of Celeste and Esmeralda, and they were in Las Vegas the same time David was performing with SZA.
Mind you, Celeste is like 12 or 13 at this point. No, wait, she just turned 13. Like, she's a fresh 13-year-old. And David obviously was messing with her beforehand. So, mind you, she's basically a 12-year-old at this point. That's so gross. from the start, someone close to the situation at Lake Elsinore told me that after the last report, certain family members instructed concerned neighbors not to search for Les because she was staying with a family member near Los Angeles. Is that why we haven't heard a word public? Yeah, I remember I said that in the old video too. Why have we not heard from her parents? I'm not saying obviously they should grieve. Obviously they, do what you gotta do, but how come we ain't had like a true statement from her family or like nothing for real? Like it's kind of weird, bro. Like,
Someone close to the situation in Lake Elsinore told me that after the now he got a camera out of the LA home that David was renting shortly after David moved out. In that camera, he found thousands of photos of Celeste. The last photo of her on that camera is dated early January, actually January 2nd, 2025.
Oh.
Then days later, that same camera was used to take pictures on a video shoot, which lines up with the time the music video for his song One More Dance was filmed, which, like many of his videos, featured a Celeste lookalike and oddly enough showed him.
So do y'all think the other older Celeste woman was a stand-in because legally he didn't want to incriminate himself by having her on video? So the other Celeste was like his like video and professional stand-in where Celeste couldn't publicly show her face, I wonder.
His alter ego, a Tommy, another word for pain, watching them put the body of the real David in the trunk. So Steve Fisher says this: on the night of December 30th through the morning of December 31st, 2024, David and Celeste were together in downtown Los Angeles, where several photos were taken in public. Celeste was 14 years old at the time and about 70 miles from her home in Lake Elsinore. Whether she was sober that night is open to interpretation. There is photo evidence of them together again on January 2nd, 2025. Then on January 8th, a sizable crew was filming a music video with David out of state. And by January 11th, David was in his hometown in Texas. About his alter ego, a Tommy, and how he killed Celeste in the back of his mind. His music videos are now of still now
basically what it sounds like is that man is a weirdo and they need to throw bro under the jail because it's obvious, regardless of whether he actually, murdered this child, he still had sexual relationships and a relationship with this child. So he needs to pay for that. You know what I'm saying? Good video by that lady. We'll see you on the next one.